Today's episode on the Magic with Gadgets podcast is a reader question. He's from Ian and he wants to know what's the best air fryer for him and his wife that they can also make bread in because he's a keen baker. So shall we go and check out my air fryers and let me show you which ones I recommend. So then, Ian's asking, like I mentioned, about which air fryer should he get and which one's most suitable for him. And the thing is, it applies to so many people. Everybody's like, there's so much choice in air fryers. Which one should I actually get? Which one is best for me? And I'm kind of with a similar opinion because for me, I still have to make choices when I'm cooking dinner. Which air fryer is the best one for dinner? What am I cooking for dinner, kind of thing. So I find it's best to kind of explain what these different air fryers do, and then you can kind of figure out which air fryer is best for you. And I don't think budget really comes into it because for each type of air fryer, there's cheaper options and there's more expensive options. So I think first of all, you need to figure out which kind of air fryer you need before you go forward on it and actually choose one. So I'm going to, if you're listening to this podcast on YouTube, I'm going to flick it round so that you can see the air fryers. And if you're just listening to it on the Magic with Gadgets podcast in an audio format, then I'll try and be descriptive as possible so that I can answer this question the best I can and really help you if you're getting started with the air fryer or wanting to. But this video can also apply if you've been air frying for a while and you fancy an upgrade, because from the tone of Ian's email, I have a feeling he'd had an air fryer before, but he wanted one that did a particular thing. So let me change the camera around. Proper look. So on my worktop here, I have the Ninja Foodie 15-in-1, the Ninja Speedy, the Ninja Flex Straw. I know it sounds really ninja, doesn't it? I've got another Ninja, the Ninja 9-in-1. And then over in other parts of the kitchen, considering I've got so many, I've also got the Kasori air fryer, which is a really good one, by the way, if you're on a budget. And then over on my shelf, I have also got the Power Air Fryer oven. I've also got the Philips air fryer. I've got the dual stack. And I've also got the Instant Pot multi-cooker, which is also an air fryer. I mean, oh, come on. I've probably driven you crazy talking about all those different air fryers, and I've probably made things a lot worse. So let's start with multi-cookers. Multi-cookers are best for you if you wanted to go just beyond air frying. I personally prefer a square-sized air fryer because you can fit more food in it than a round one. So if fitting the food in is the problem, I would choose the Ninja Speedy style multi-cooker over the 15-in-1 because of the shape. Let me show you inside them both, just a second. So as you can see, if you're looking at this through video, it's a very round shape for the 15-in-1, and it's not very good if you want to spread out food and if you're thinking about it just from an air fryer perspective. The Ninja Speedy, however, is more your traditional square shape. You can remove the air fry crisp plate and then it's like a pan, so it's very much like the gadget of choice. And then the same applies to the Ninja 9-in-1, but the difference between the 9-in-1 and the 15-in-1 and the Speedy is it's an older model, so you're not necessarily getting all the bells and whistles. It doesn't steam air fry or do anything fancy, but it's a brilliant budget option. And zooming in close, if you're watching it on video, it pressure cooks, steams, slow cooks, yogurt, saute, air crisp, grill, bacon roast and dehydrate. I mean, come on, seriously, that is a lot of things for a cheaper model. And then beyond that, you're talking proper air fryers. So this is our Ninja Flex Straw, and the Flex Straw is an upgrade on the Duals because you can have it without a divider. So if you're talking about cooking space of an air fryer, then it's brilliant because it's like 2 compartments in one. You could fit a leg of lamb in there and it'd be brilliant. And then let's take a walk back through to my other air fryers. My all-time favourite budget air fryer is the Cosori. Depending on what special offer's on, you can normally get it for about 70 quid here in the UK. And look at the size of that, and it's a square one, so obviously you can fit quite a lot of food in there. And it's more your traditional just air fries. I've also got the air fryer oven. I don't recommend it to you unless you want the rotisserie, because even though it can hold a bigger volume, you have to constantly switch the shelves around for an even cook if you're doing 2 shelves of food, and it can take ages compared to a basket air fryer. You know, a lot of the guides tell you that if you're going with an air fryer oven, that the timings aren't that different from an oven, and quite a lot of people choose the air fryers because of how much quicker cooking they are. So with the air fryer oven, you don't have that. It's like a mini oven, or it's often known as a toaster oven. So like I said, unless you want the rotisserie feature, or you're just obsessed with 1 shelf of tray bakes, don't bother with that one. The Philips air fryer, by far the best air fryer you'll ever find. If you want precise cooking and you want it spot on, then it has to be Team Philips. And the reason behind this, let me just get it out here on my fridge. So check this out. Below, that's the air technology you have at the bottom, and this means you get a better cook. So with Ian talking about baking, then this is top of my list for baking. I wouldn't cook a cake in a different air fryer to this one, because it does such a good job, because it cooks from the bottom and the sides and not just the top, unlike the others. The Philips air fryer XL, depending on if it's on special offer or not, you can get it good prices. I mean, I've seen them down to 100 quid, whereas before, when they didn't have much competition, they would charge 100 to 200 quid for it. So, you know, it's a really good bargain now. And then I'm not really going to talk about the stack, because the only reason I've got the stack is because people complained about it, and I've got to try it out, but I haven't had a chance to try it out yet. So ignore the stack. And then you've also got, let me lean over. You've also got the Instant Pot version of the multi-cooker, which is very much like the Ninja, and it's actually slightly cheaper, but it doesn't do steam air fry, steam bread and all those. It's more just how the 9-in-1 is, you know, where it's more steam air fry and all that kind of thing. So, our main air fryers. So what would I recommend to Ian? If you want to bake and you want to do all that kind of stuff, what would I personally give it the thumbs up for? Well, I'm thinking about this because I've got them for all different kinds of reasons, and they've all got different benefits. So I would say, to start with, if you're wanting to make bread in the air fryer, I would say that the flex straw will hold the most. So if you want to do a batch of it, I'll show you in a minute how I've done that before. And then what I noticed is when I got the multi-cooker, the Ninja, and I used the steam bread feature, I was absolutely amazed by the difference in the quality of bread compared to just air frying. It was like bread you would pick up from a bakery. It wasn't like traditional air fryer bread. It was just totally in a different league. At some point I'll manage to do a video or a podcast actually on this, but so that you know, right now it was the best. So given that in mind, if you wanted to bake the cakes, I would go Team Philips, without a doubt. If you want to use bread and you want to use the steam bread feature, what I recommend is the 15-in-1. And then if you want to spread ingredients out, I would recommend the Ninja Flex Straw. It just totally depends on what you want it for. So let me show you something for inside here. So these are what I've picked up from Lakeland. So that's a silicone container, and as you can see, I can easily fit 2 of these in here. So you could do a garlic bread in one and a little bread roll loaf in the other, and you've got the perfect space for it. And then of course, if you just want an all-in-one, you want to be able to air fry, slow cook and whatnot, you're on a budget, then get the 9-in-1. Just kind of think to yourself, a minute, why do I want it? What am I going to do with it? What's my plan? And then think of your plan. If bread's your plan, then I would probably say the 15-in-1 is the best option. If space is your option, then the flex drawer. And if you want to make cakes, then the Philips air fryer, without a doubt. And then if you want a multi-cooker, but your budget is tight, go for the Ninja 9-in-1. And I'm going to do you another episode soon, and I'm going to talk about the story of the Ninja Foodie, because I think it's very fascinating. And I've also found it's very similar to when you get in your mobile phones. So have a listen to that one when it comes out. And of course, you can enjoy the visual of this episode via YouTube, or the audio of it via your podcast player. And of course, please subscribe, because it really does make such a difference. And good luck in choosing your air fryer, and do let me know which one you've chosen. Thanks so much for listening, and you can find us on social media. We're on Facebook, Pinterest, TikTok, and of course Instagram. And you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, or why not head over to KitchenGadgetsClub.com/newsletter and join our weekly newsletter, where we go into detail about all our favourite kitchen gadget recipes, tips, tricks and resources. And a ciao for now.